keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the show. It's time to talk about most vital player to defensive success for the 49ers.
Vitality, Ant. It's extremely important. It's extremely important for the defense to be operating at its most optimal levels, to be dominating and demonstrating dominance and just completely mollywhopping people all up and down the football field. I want dominance up front. I want dominance in the secondary. But there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can do that as a team. You can do that individually, a combination of both. But sometimes for teams, there's one player. There's one guy who kind of sets the tone. There's one guy who kind of gets the ball rolling. And we're going to talk about that player right now, who we may think it is, and make some ideas and throw some pitches out there. But Cutback Crew, let us know in the comment section right now who you think it is. Maybe it's a common name. Maybe it's a Fred Warner. Maybe it's a Bosa. Maybe it's a Charvarius Ward, a new face. We want to know what you think, so comment down below right now. And Ant, us off. Who is the first guy that comes to mind that is the most vital for this defense and success on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think you said it. The 49ers have a lot of guys, that you could potentially say are the most vital to their team. I mean, for one, Fred Warner, right there, all-pro Fred, in the middle of your defense, he would seem to me the most vital. You add Charvarius Ward, that's going to change the way the defense is going to be played this year. Of course, Jimmy Ward's versatility could also be. But I'm going to go with a guy that kind of sets the tone for everything, and that's going to be Nick Bosa. I think it's no surprise that Nick Bosa shows up in 2019 and the 49ers defense goes to new heights. And we've seen it even elevate even farther as they've had to double and potentially triple team Nick Bosa. That gives so many other guys the ability to be able to get after the passer. Not just that, but he also sets the edge against the run. That's going to help provide Fred Warner and the linebackers a little bit more situation to be able to get to the run game and get after the running back. So I think Nick Bosa is the most vital player right now to the 49ers defense because of the attention that he gets. And that attention makes it a little bit easier for everyone else around him. And I think that's one of the things you're looking for. When the 49ers were looking for edge rushers, that's one thing that they wanted to find, a guy that could absolutely close the door on third down. And Nick Bosa's that guy.
100,000% yes. I can't argue with this. I won't argue with this, Ant. All I can do is make a pitch for another player. That's it. That's all I can do, because at the end of the day, the reality is Nick Bosa is not only the face of the franchise, and he is one of the best pass rushers in all of the league, especially from the defensive end spot. And I won't say a negative word about Nick Bosa, because there is no negative things to say. Everything he does on the football field is absolutely incredible. And a couple of the other names you brought up are accurate. Fred Warner, hugely important and vital to the success of this team. The addition of Charvarius Ward, phenomenal. What Jimmy Ward adds in versatility to be able to do things in coverage, in the nickel, deep thirds, coming up in the box to stop the run is absolutely vital as well. It's huge for this defense. But I have to discredit Nick Bosa because it's so obvious that it's Nick Bosa. It can't be that, because Nick Bosa is going to get it done whether he's got 2 guys on him or 3 guys on him. It's up to everyone else, the guys around him, to be able to step up. One of the guys we saw step up in a huge way last season especially was Eric Armstead, a guy who's taken a lot of flack, a guy who has taken a lot of beatings, a guy who's taken a lot of criticism, man. Criticism. He's not fast enough to play on the edge. He doesn't set the edge well enough. Well, he moved inside. Another sacrifice for this football team, moving out of position per se, moving onto the interior full time, and absolutely dominating once getting there in both the run game and pressures, hurries, getting after the quarterback. Well, guess what? You just added Charvarius Ward. Your secondary is drastically improved. Your linebacking core didn't put together one of the best seasons that it's ever put together this last season, partially because Fred was playing out of position and your linebacking core was hampered with injuries all season long, literally from week 1 all the way through the NFC Championship game. It was never healthy. And despite that, Eric Armstead put together one heck of a season, an underappreciated, undervalued season in which he got after the quarterback. He hit the quarterback. He caused mistakes. He made quarterbacks uncomfortable. He was dominating, splitting, beating double teams, not allowing teams to sit their run scheme and get things going with their run game and putting the Niners in a better position. And what have the Niners done? They've built this defense. John Lynch's front office built this defense, made it stronger in other areas to be able to capitalize on what a guy like Nick Bosa brings to the table and what a guy like Eric Armstead has now shown he can be on the interior and on the inside. If Eric Armstead were to drop off and not be the guy we saw this past season, then we're going to take a hit defensively. We absolutely are. We're going to take a hit in our run schemes and our run fits. We're going to take a hit on being able to get after the quarterback and collapsing pockets from the inside and allowing the Nick Bosas of the world to have the success on the outside, allowing the Samson Ebukams and the Arden Keys opposite of him to have those one-on-one matchups. Eric Armstead has to be the dominating force and be elevating himself closer to Nick Bosa in order for the success of this D-line and the defense to continue to be where it's at. Nick Bosa is going to do it regardless. We know that. Nick Bosa will do it with one guy on him. Well, he won't do it with one guy on. He'll embarrass and obliterate the guy that's on him if it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
He'll beat double teams. He'll beat or contain triple teams, which means Eric Armstead has to continue doing what he has done. And if he does, the Niners defense is going to be to the moon, and it gives everyone else the matchups they need in order to thrive.
Eric Armstead might be the most vital to the run game. I think the run defense definitely got so much better when he moved to the interior, and that's when you really saw Fred Warner kind of become Fred Warner again. I think some of that helps with Dre comes back. You see Fred, kind of settle into his role. But Armstead being able to keep offensive linemen off of these linebackers is the reason they were able to flow and make plays. And that was very important. So I think if you're talking about vital to the run game, he may be the most vital player to the run game, while Nick Bosa is the most vital player to the pass game. I think they kind of go hand in hand, and they definitely both help each other. In a shocking development in football, you need all 11 guys to do their job to help everyone else. Everyone is an extension of each other. That's something that has been said from Bill Walsh for a long time. You're an extension of the players next to you. You doing your job makes it easier on somebody else. And that's what, Eric Armstead did last year. I think it is something to really remember, is that he took a step of faith, and went inside without practicing an entire offseason for it, not being prepared to play on the inside and stopping the run. But now he's had a whole offseason to do it. How much better is he going to be also? So I think both of these guys are vital to the success of the 49ers offense. I think that there's a lot of defense, and there's a lot of players that could be argued, to be vital players for it. I don't think there's a wrong answer, but when it comes down to it, I do think Nick Bosa is the most important for the pass game. I think he gets everything set up, and I think that is how teams look at him. They have to locate Nick Bosa. Where's Nick Bosa before every snap? If you know where he's at, then that's how the offense is going to attack the defense. And I think that's what they look for. And then after that, it's Eric Armstead. How is he going to be able to stop this run? I think he does help everyone else. Those two guys are definitely vital to the 49ers defensive success.
So it looks like we should have titled this video, the most vital player to the defensive success behind Nick Bosa, and because it seems like we both agree that Nick Bosa is priority numero uno to the defensive success. And I would agree with you. In a shocking turn of events, we both went with defensive lineman, Ant, because the defensive line is the identity of this football team. Yes, Charvarius Ward is going to be great in this system, in this scheme.
Yep.
When Jason Verrett is healthy, he's phenomenal. Emmanuel Mosley showed to be great last year, and your linebacking core is the best that it's ever been. But at the end of the day, it's still going to come down to your front four not letting guys get up to second level, and your front four getting after the quarterback on obvious passing downs. That starts it. Everyone else finishes it.
Yeah, it does. Charvarius Ward is going to be vital. That was a huge signing for the 49ers because late in the year, they were having to give so much safety help over the top to help protect the young corner, Ambry Thomas. And it's nothing against Ambry. He was just learning how to play in the NFL. He had taken an entire year of 2020 off. So Charvarius Ward, you don't have to worry about that now, which means Jimmy Ward is going to be more flexible to be other places, not over the top. It's not going to be Talanoa Hufanga over the top. Those guys are going to be able to fly around. So getting Charvarius Ward is going to give this defensive line an extra second. It's also going to help in the run game as well because Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, and Charvarius Ward can all tackle. I think that is really big, and that's going to be vital for the success of the 49ers. So I do think Charvarius Ward's one of those guys to mention, but he's just not as important as the guys we just talked about, but he is still important.
Yet, Ant.
Yet. You're right.
The key word there is yet, because we don't know how big of an impact he is going to be on the outside. And if he ends up being the lockdown guy that D'Amico Ryans, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch all believe he could be, which is why you paid him the money that you did, then maybe things change here. By the time we get midway through the season or by the time we get to the playoffs, everyone may be feeling a lot differently about this. And that's the great thing about this defense. There are a lot of great players top to bottom, literally from the safety position all the way down into your front four. On the outsides as well, there's great players all over the field, and all of them are going to play a huge role to the success of this defense in 2022.
Yeah, if Charvarius Ward plays the top 10 cornerback potential like he's getting paid, this 49ers defense is going to absolutely take off. Because that secondary, Emmanuel Mosley didn't give up a single touchdown. Jason Verrett in 2020 was Pro Bowl caliber. And then you have Jimmy Ward, who is one of those top 15 safeties in the entire league. Their only weakness in the secondary could be the safety playing opposite of Jimmy Ward. And even then, if that player develops and steps up, you may not have a weakness. There's not a lot of weaknesses on this 49ers defense, and that is a problem for everyone else. So you're right. If Traverse Ward plays up to that level, that could be tremendously vital to what happens for Armstead and Bosa. I think they would both love to have an extra second to get after the quarterback.
Who wouldn't love an extra second to get after the quarterback, Ant?
I don't know. I really don't.
Maybe the Flash, because he doesn't need one.
I mean, even he would probably like an extra second, right?
True.
I don't think anyone's going to be like, nah, I don't want an extra second.
You mean more time isn't a bad thing?
It's really not.
It's great.
Yeah, one thing I've learned as I've gotten older is 24 hours is just not enough time in the day, and 3 seconds is just not enough time to get after the quarterback.
Accurate, and we want that thing to be 4.5, 5 seconds. That would be absolutely glorious, and maybe Traverse Ward is going to be the key to unlocking that. Who knows? But Cutback Crew, did we sway you? Did we sway you one way or the other? Maybe you weren't leaning towards Bosa, you were leaning another direction. Did Ant make the pitch over the top for Bosa? Maybe Armstead wasn't even in your consideration. Is he now? Probably might not be, but hey, I love me some Eric Armstead.
I like him too.
And Horst loves himself some Eric Armstead as well. He loves that square head.
Yeah, he does. He likes himself some Armstead. And we got to remember that the reason Horst is so sour on Armstead as far as that is because Horst had to coach against him in high school, and Armstead absolutely dominated. So when that happened,
literally the day of that game, I remember him talking to us about it. He said that kid's going to be in the NFL one day.
Yeah, he was already monstrous, already good. He was a really good football player in high school. Shocking. Goes to Oregon, good.
Shocking.
Goes to the NFL. He's really good.
Shocking.
So I think he is vital to the 49ers' success, and I think it was really proved, when he started helping in the interior against the run game. I mean, he's very vital to the run defense, and I think that the 49ers defense is got a lot of vital players. So I think there's no wrong answers, and I'm sure somebody's going to want to pitch Fred Warner, and I think that would be a good one as well.
You 100% should. 100% should, because we already know what Fred Warner can be for this defense and what he is on his best days. And last year wasn't his best year per se for most people, and he was still making plays all over the field and juggling a multitude of roles. Talk about an extremely talented, selfless guy. You got a lot of those guys all over the field for San Francisco, and we'll see how that plays for them in 2022 and what this defense actually looks like, what it actually starts doing. How much shop are they wrecking? Not that much longer till we find out.
No, it's not. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see this defense. I didn't think the defense could be better than it was going to be in 2021. I was so excited about that defense. I'm even more excited about the upgrades in the secondary, the fact Armstead is officially playing inside. I think this is defense's best top to bottom that we've seen in the Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch era, and that's good news for the 49ers and bad news for everyone else.
That's right. So Cutback Crew, make sure you're commenting down below. Let's have these conversations. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, because we're trying to get to 3K. And until the next one, stay safe.
Remember, the right way
is always the 49ers way.